We live, baby.
How we doing? Wrong time, right place, episode 5. Appreciate y'all being here and appreciate y'all understanding that we a day late. Sometimes shit happens, real life happens. So we just here a day late, but we
Yeah,
still appreciate everybody being here. We're gonna do our best, to not slip up on that or to keep up on our schedule as much as we can. But life happens. And we here. Take it away.
yeah. I want to say take responsibility for that. Like you said, real life happens. I had some things I was dealing with the rental car service because I was recently in an accident, and just dealing with insurance companies and rental cars can be a pain in the neck for anybody that's going through that process. I'm sure you can relate. But I just want to thank everybody in here for being flexible with us, still coming in, showing up, and showing out. And as usual, we look forward to bringing you guys a great show.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody being here in the chat. I just plugged in all of our stuff. Join the Discord, be a part of the community, suggest videos for us. We can do live reactions, be a part of our gaming experience, be a part of our community. Next, we got my YouTube and the Crash Mobs YouTube on there as well. Check out their new video. Check out our old episodes if you haven't done that yet. Last week we talked about some serious stuff. Go ahead, tell them what we talked about.
We talked about the reign of Donald Trump. The
Yes,
the
sir.
Trump era is looking like it's officially coming to an end. And check out our thoughts on his reign and what we can look forward to. I think that was a very, very active show last week, huh?
Yeah, we had a very active show. We appreciate everybody being out here for that and being here for this one. You know, that's something important for us to talk about because not only are we doing this show to help people and give our thoughts and share that mindset of what people our age range are going through, but we want to be able to really talk about the things that are important to us. And for me, that was something super important that I wanted to get off my chest. Living through 4 years of that era can be tough, and I'm not gonna say it was better or not as bad as I thought it was, whatever. But I just had a lot on my chest that I wanted to get off, and I felt really good about doing that.
Yeah. And just for the end of the day, like for anybody that we understand, politics can be divisive, but that's not our goal with this show. We want to, encourage everyone to say how they feel, and that was just us saying how we feel about something that was weighing on us for a long time. We both talked about how we felt when he got elected, and that was kind of I felt like it got that way because that was us venting a lot about emotions we've been bottling up for a while.
Right, and I know this week our topic for this week is something that is super important to you. So I'm going to let you just rip it right off the
Yes.
beginning. Go ahead, start us off.
All righty. The topic we're gonna start on today is it's about being yourself and stand out instead of fitting in. I feel, in the social media age that we live in, this new generation, it's all about what's cool, being trendy and trying to fit in. And I think, that can weigh on your mental and that can leave you feeling, unsatisfied. So I just want to dive into that and, talk about the importance of staying true to yourself. And yeah, for me, I can even get started and talk about my personal experiences, working, doing music, even doing this podcast is like an example. I think of us just branching out and letting go of perception from others and just doing what you want to do. And yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's an important step for everyone to take.
I think that's super important. Um, whether you should conform to what society wants you to do and fit in, or be yourself. And these are real thoughts that go through
Hmm.
people's head all the time. And Henry, we appreciate you gifting those subs. Slaves, we appreciate you being in here. Kobe, everybody, shout out to everybody that's in here. These are all something that's super important. And I'd like to think that. Dang, he coming in here with some more. Okay, appreciate you returning the sub for yourself. Yeah, thanks for being back in here. That's my boy. Shout out to you, man. Um,
Yeah,
but
big ups, Toxic Henry. Big ups.
being being yourself is something super important. I kind of want to talk about like my own journey in that. Um, we talked about it. I believe I've talked about it a bit, but when I was like 20, 21, I felt really lost in that time period of my life. Um, I was just kind of doing what my family wanted me to do. I was doing what that typical path that everybody kind of tells you to be on, but I felt it was never me. And I've never felt that way I felt like that for a long time. Never felt like what I was doing was necessarily me. And really over that next like year or two, I really spent a lot of time just discovering who I was through community college and um, just a lot of stuff, meeting new people, and really just dissecting like who I was, who I wanted to be, where I wanted to go, what I wanted my life to look like. And
Mm.
from there, I really did help becoming like the happiest I've ever been. But I don't think it would have happened if I didn't have that period, which was a little bit more sad in the start. Is that something you think happened to you, or what was your experience?
Well, I absolutely love what you said about addressing what you want to do out of life, the vision you have for yourself, who you see yourself becoming, what is it that you enjoy, what is it that you don't like. And for me, same thing. I recently have just discovered that same clarity because I always knew what I wanted to do, but it's like, and I know you and you have always been ambitious. We always talked about going on trips together, doing the world together, doing life together. But until you actually sit down and map out the vision you have for yourself, I don't think it can be real. And same period, young, fresh out of high school, with like a lot of ambitions, but really no direction, and kind of doing like you said, what okay, this is the route you're supposed to follow: go to college, get a good job, and go out and hang with friends, and um, party, and that's what's cool, and that's what's in, and that's what I found myself doing a lot until like I get to like 22, 21, and I'm like, man, I wasted a lot of time, and I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not happy. I mean, I'm living the same life. It's monotonous, but I'm not feeling anything fulfilling. And just mapping out my goals, what I want to do, and and once you write it down, I think it becomes real. And you have to let go about caring what people think of you too. And I cared a lot what people thought about me, people, especially people close to me, and letting that go was the moment it clicked, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just do what I want, and it can be a lonely road at first, but even the people that are close to you, once they see how convicted and how dedicated you are, those that are really with you will hop on board, and that's kind of been my journey in a sense.
Yeah, I love that. I like a couple things you said. I think it definitely can be a lonely road. Not only because like you're kind of distancing yourself from people, but because you're just like confused yourself. You're so
Hmm.
confused yourself that like you don't want to be around people as well. And
Absolutely.
to kind of go off of that, like when you finally like discover who you are, who you want to be, it's crazy the amount of people that come back and like are attracted to you because of that.
Right.
Because like you put that energy back out, and then just amazing people find you somehow. It's pretty crazy the way things happen to work out like that. And I think another thing that's important is I like that you said to write it down. I think to make things a reality and make it physical is something to remind yourself. That's something super dope. And you kind of just got to do things. Like I remember at
Yep.
that time I was getting a lot of scrutiny from my family cuz I didn't have a job, or I stopped working with my family, and I didn't have a job and I was going to college, and I decided to go volunteer to be a little league football coach. You know, I was, you know, kind of bumming it,
You're
but
a
I would
damn
put,
good coach.
but I would pull up to little league football coach and have the best time of my life because those are things I wanted to do. Like I didn't know how I wanted to do
Mhm.
them. I didn't know what exactly I wanted to do in my future, but I know I wanted to be a part of the community, and I felt like doing those things, just kind of throwing myself in there blindly, helped me find like intrinsic happiness, which is happiness from within. I think a lot of people uh, rely on extrinsic happiness, which is unfortunate. They try to replace um, their own depressions, things like that, with drinking, with drugs, with buying stuff, a whole bunch of stuff.
Great
But
points.
yeah, kind of what you were saying, like you were finding yourself at parties all the time, stuff like that. But when you really find those things that you're passionate about and you're able to apply yourselves in those, like it's really dope. Um, I have a question for you. In the job
What's
setting,
happening, man?
do you think you should conform to fit in, or should you
So
be
I
yourself?
so I recently, this is why I want to talk about this, because this is something like I recently discovered. Um, Before I get into that, I want to just say too, because you said you were feeling unemployed. You were unemployed at the time, kind of bumming it, but you found a passion, something you really enjoy. I just want to say for anybody that doesn't have a job, because I know that can be really draining mentally. Not, and I've gone through that during this whole pandemic, not having to work, not being out of work, like it actually weighs on you. But don't look at not having a job as an excuse to be a bum either. You know, that doesn't, just because you don't have a job, always work. So, um, just wanted to put that in. And as you were saying, like, my bad. What was your question again, Jason? I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that
It
out
was
there.
in the workplace. Do you think you should conform to
Oh
fit
yeah.
in, or should you be yourself?
So I say you shouldn't. You have to conform a little. Like you have to do the job. I think you should do what's asked of you as far as your job, but you should also maintain a level of respect about yourself. Understand, you don't have to be a slave to this job either. Like they need you just as much as as then you need them if you're doing providing great work. Because ultimately, that's what I think. That's what you owe a job. Good, you owe that job doing a good job at it. But as far as like conforming who you are and your values, I don't think you should.
I agree.
I think.
I think I think you shouldn't conform. I think ultimately, if you can find a job that accepts you for who you are, first and foremost, you should 100% do that. 100%.
Exactly.
But if you're not able to, and your job needs you to be quote unquote somebody else, like you should do that in a guarded fashion. Don't change who you
Hmm.
are, you know. And sometimes it could be the social aspects of the job. I don't I usually don't hang out with coworkers, stuff like that. Like I really don't go out with them because coworkers, when they want to hang out, they typically want me to be someone who I'm not. They always ask me to go to the bar with them, stuff like that, parties, meet me downtown Fremont, whatever, and that's not me.
Yep.
So at work, it's cool. I'm gonna be your friend at work. So that's kind of me conforming, I guess, a little bit. Because if I didn't know you at work, I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have been your friend, like regardless. But um, like outside of work, I'm not gonna hang out with you. Like I just don't. That's just not me. It's not who I am. So I don't do it. I could still be cordial with
Hmm.
you and do stuff with you at work, but beyond that, I just don't.
Yep. Exactly. And I used to always say this. I used to say we always wear masks for different things. Like we put on these masks. Some people put on their mask at home, and they're a different, totally different person when they go out. Or people at work, they put on this mask and they're a totally different person at home. So what I've recently discovered is I don't want to have to put on any mask. I want to be the
We
same
live,
person everywhere I
baby.
go, and not have to. And I think you can do that while conforming at a job as well. Like to do what you guys ask me, and I'm gonna do it when I'm here when my time's on the clock. I'll ask you to treat me with respect. I think that's what it's really about is having that mutual respect and understanding. Like this is a job, but I also am true to who I am at the same time. And it's sometimes it's a tough depending on the job. So,
Yeah, for
but
sure. I think that's a really good point. Masks. I don't. I think. Hey, appreciate you following. By the way, Denise. Thank you. That's dope. Appreciate you doing that. I think when you can get to the point of yourself not having to wear a mask and you can truly be you like all the time,
hmm
like I said, it's kind of like that pinnacle point where just lucky shit happens to you all the time. Excuse my language, but lucky stuff
yeah,
happens to you all the time. Like you're gonna run into these amazing opportunities because you're being like your authentic self. People are gonna want to hang out with you. People are gonna want to know like, what are you doing? What are you reading? What are you eating? Like they want to know everything about your life at that moment because like you're in like true alignment with yourself. No mask, nothing. You don't have to pretend to be somebody who you're not. And it can be very difficult to reach that point, but you got to strive for it every day. And um, I just want to go back to what you were saying with as far as like loneliness. Sometimes you are going to have to have very difficult conversations, kind of what we were saying, like episode one with real friends. Sometimes real friends only know your masked self. They don't know the
Hmm.
real you. So when you decide to change, it could be something that they're not happy with. Not only with your friends, it could be with your family. You know, it could be with a bunch of stuff. But
Yeah,
ultimately, when you decide to make that decision and have that difficult conversation or make that change, it can only go up from there and like be super amazing.
absolutely. And for me, I think, it's like it comes back to finding those passions that you have, that thing inside that just makes you tick, that you love. And when I started doing music, that's when I found that, like, I was like, man, the one time I'm really truly myself is when I'm writing my music, because your art is, imitates life. And that's how I was like, man, I want to keep this up, and this is how I'm gonna express myself. And then it started just translating in my demeanor on how I deal with people on the day to day. So it just started. I think, find that passion is key. And we always talk about it. It's who you surround yourself with, because we've met some amazing people through like our whole life, and I've seen, who I want to be, and I've been around the people who I want to be like, and the way they carry themselves is they're all the time. They're the same every time you see them, and that's what I to me, like that's where I want to be. Whenever you
Yeah,
see me, it's always the same energy.
yeah, I understand. I have another question for you if you're ready for it. Um,
Go ahead.
what do you think are some things that you can do to help you like realize who you are, like find yourself more?
Mm. I think definitely studying yourself, and that may sound weird, but really study yourself and figure out what it is that you like and dislike,
Hmm.
and from there, you follow that, and also believing in yourself. Have that. It starts with that belief within. I can do this, and study, study, study your
See,
tendencies and yourself, your strengths and your weakness, and be honest with yourself.
Right. I think something you can add on to that is also um, just more physical things to add on to what you're saying beyond studying. You can actually create visions for yourself, make vision boards,
Mm,
right? Find the things that
yeah.
inspire you, right? Find what inspires you about somebody and look that up. Like for me, I think there's a long list of people who are just like amazing inspirations for me. At the heart of things, I think of myself like as a philosopher, as a humanitarian. So my greatest inspirations have been like Barack Obama, Will Smith, Muhammad Ali, people like this. I literally have people on my vision boards that like just inspire me so much. Bob Marley, like tons and tons of people that I
Yeah,
just love how they like how their life
exactly.
turned out to be. I saw the
I,
result of what they achieved, and I'm trying to figure out like what did they do, what did they go through to kind of achieve that, and I want to put myself in similar situations.
I, that's beautiful, and like you said, it's finding what you those finding out why they inspire you too. So like all those people you name, I'm sure you know why, but whoever it is that's listening, if you don't know, just look at the people like you just said that inspire you, and ask, what is it about them that inspires me? And go look and see, yeah, like you said, what it is it took to get to where they are, and follow it. You know, it's kind of weird to say, but I really think like once you find what it is that you love, uh, like that's the work should become fun at that point. You know, it might be hard work, but it should feel like this isn't work. This is what I love. I enjoy doing this. I want to go hard. Shouldn't feel like work.
Right. And I just want to add something on that real quick, too. I don't think you should try to find a job that you love either. I think you should try to find a job who accepts you for who you are truly and pays you the most amount of money in the least amount of time. So that way you can focus your time on what you actually love. Because the moment that you focus your like the moment you turn your hobby, what you're passionate about, into a job, and someone else tries to tell you what to do with your life, you begin to start resenting it. So I think you should find a
Yeah,
job who accepts you for who you are, pays you the most in the least amount of time. So that way you can actually afford the time to do what you want with your life. I think,
exactly.
yeah,
Beautiful.
don't try to find a don't try to make your hobby into a full time job with a boss and whatever. If you own a business, I think that's
Yeah,
great.
because
But
yep.
once the man is telling you do this on my time, stray away from that. You know, I need you here. Show up to this. Somebody called out. You got to cover. It becomes really grindy and really unpleasant.
Yeah, that's a really good point because you got to remember what it is that you did this for. Like, did you do it to have a boss? Because is that why you're unhappy at your job? You know, you don't have the freedoms that you once had. And I know that with a lot of people in music, man, a lot of artists sign with the record labels and really regret it because they don't control their art anymore. So, and that happens in like pretty much I'm sure that translates to every field. You know, if you even ask athletes, they talk about once money gets involved, it changes it. It's not a hobby anymore. It's not just something you love. Like it's a business, and it goes both ways.
Right. Especially if you're not like achieving your goals. That if you're not achieving your goals and somebody else is managing you like not in a timely fashion, it'll
Hmm.
really just turn what you love into something that you despise. Um, and yeah, episode 5. Appreciate y'all saying we speaking facts. Um, I just want to reiterate like what we do this podcast for. I know we were getting some feedback and some people didn't quite understand exactly what the theme of our podcast was. Our podcast is me and my boy Charles here. We're not necessarily debating, but we're not necessarily like agreeing in everything. We just pick topics that we want to talk about that we feel are controversial and not a lot of there's not a lot of like material out there on. And we want to be able to help somebody with our input on that, right? So this isn't a show. This
Yeah.
isn't a show to be controversial. If something happens where like we do argue or we do disagree with each other, it's all natural. Like we're not scripting that or whatever to try to clickbait somebody, whatever. But we really are here to try to help somebody in some way. Um, and if if you're here for us to be like that kind of show, it's just not necessarily what it is, not what we intend it to be.
Nah, this is gonna be us talking about some stuff that we wanted to talk about and say how we feel on the topic. We might agree, we might not. But also, if you guys want to hear us talk about some topics, jump in the comments and we'll be happy to answer some questions. We will be happy to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So we're not limiting ourselves. We're not saying that it won't happen. Me and Idris, we don't think the same on everything. Right now we just trying to really talk about some things that are positive and ultimately to help someone that may be going through these things. And
Yeah.
to get back to kind of the standing in, the fitting in, I just want to ask, like you, Idris, do you feel like there's there's like something about society like that wants to suppress, or did you ever feel growing up that you were conformed to trying to fit in, or that being a standing out was a bad thing?
Um, did I feel that standing out was a bad thing? I never felt that. I never felt like people would say it directly, but I do feel that people do compare and they do get jealous and they do kind of want to limit your greatness. Um, that's how I look at it anyway, limiting somebody else's greatness. Some people do want you to just be a part of the pack, and once they start to see you shine, this is when a lot of your friends, a lot of your closest people, people you never would have thought of, are going to be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, you're acting different. What's different about you?" Like, and they're gonna be like, "You're acting different in a negative way." They're gonna say it in a negative fashion.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I have run into that from time to time, but you will see it in a lot of mellow forms. I think in education and school, and it'll really be that moment when like you decide to step up and shine and be great. They don't want you to be great.
They don't want you to be. They don't want to see you win.
They don't want to see you
And
win.
only reason I ask that is because I look around and I just see a lot of people like confused or spreading a lot of hate without them knowing that they're really spreading negativity and hate because somebody will try to do something different and they get shitted on for it, or you get or it's looked at as weird or not cool. And I know people, even like people like creating content. A lot of people, I don't know if it's going to be cool or people are going to like it. And I just think letting go of that fear about worrying about if someone likes your content or not. Once you let go of all that, you will feel so much relief.
Right. It's ignorance. Like
Hmm.
for instance, just in school, there's a lot of cliques. There's like the high school clique. You got the hippie people. You got all these different crowds and whatever, and they all judge each other to an extent. And sometimes there's a clash, but it's really just because of ignorance. You know, if it's ignorance in the part that you don't want to understand what that person is doing or want to learn about what they're doing, and you see it as different, so you have a problem with it. But that person is probably like
Mm,
super happy that he's doing it. He or she is doing it or involved in that. And if it gives them joy
right.
and leads them to a better life for themselves, what's the issue? Be happy for them.
Yeah. Be happy, man. And I don't know. That's just like you ever read comments? You're so much There be so much negativity in like comments and people
Oh
just
man.
be I'm like, man, what is wrong with y'all? That's what I it just y'all are and I just feel like it's because I don't know where it stems from, but it just bothers me because let people be themselves if it's not hurting you. If what someone's doing is not hurting you, why do you care?
Right. Why do you care? And if it's someone that you care for or is your friend or whatever,
Hmm.
be happy for them. Like let them live their life.
Be happy for
Let
them.
let them be great. For lack of
Yeah,
not even for
you
lack
gotta
of a
love people
better
for who they are.
yeah, not even for lack of a better term, but that's a great term. Let them be great. Like
One hundred.
why are you being a diminisher? You should be a multiplier, right? You should multiply their greatness, amplify what they're doing. If you see them shining and being great, like really amplify them. Don't be a diminisher and try to knock them down.
And I know like sometimes it can come from a place people knock them down because they're jealous. And if you're someone that feels like that, the other perspective, like you're doing good and you have people in your life that are knocking you down or telling you, yeah, don't do that. That you won't make any money doing that, or no, trying to stop your greatness or your dreams, your passions. Don't listen to that because a lot of times people would just project their own feelings onto others, and all you doesn't it just I see that so much when somebody wants to start something new, start something creative, man, and like you said, just won't let them be great. Tell them all the reasons why it won't work, and
Yeah, they'll tell them all the reasons why it won't work. I see that so much, and it's so sad. I think obviously, like in this digital age, we run into a lot of comparison. I think that's the main issue, and I don't want to get into that too big. That's a sneak peek topic for y'all in the future, the comparison gap. Okay, so stay tuned for that one. We'll do that one in probably one of these coming weeks. But
yep.
that's essentially what it is because we have so much access to like the internet, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. People are able to and see what other people are doing so much more instantly that they compare themselves and they're like, "Oh man, that person's doing this. Why don't I have that?" etc., etc. And it's it's literally like I saw this great quote. It said, "Comparison is the thief of joy," and that's because
Hmm.
they're trying to compare what other people have and what they don't have, or what someone else has and they don't. And you just gotta let other people be great and be happy for them, right? The only way we'll truly like succeed is if we all help each other, and that doesn't mean you have to be in the form of finances all the time. It could be a simple clap. It could be a high five. It could be like keep going. Like do what you're doing. I see you. I see you shining.
100, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out Pain
100,
Ray,
and
everybody in here. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all liking the content so far.
yeah, much love to everybody in the chat. We're real active. We having a good conversation. Anybody that's tuning in late, we just talking about not being afraid to be yourself, doing what you love, and standing out.
Right.
Because they got all these haters out here, man. Everybody trying to hate.
Right. You don't have to conform to society. Like, you don't have to put on a mask. Be you. Find people who accept you for you, and just let the rest ride. You know, like live your life. Everybody has their own definition of happiness and success, right? Just because someone isn't as successful as you, or you're not as successful as somebody else, that's your definition and your opinion. Somebody else could be super happy. Like in college, I specifically studied the psychology of happiness. Like that's literally what I focused on, and I always thought it was so fascinating how people like you and me in the United States of America could be like depressed, which I'm not saying depression isn't real. That's not what I'm saying. But on the other end of the spectrum, like somebody in India or wherever, third world country, could be working 18 hours a day, making less than $1, right? Living in some outdoor shack, and they'll be pure happiness. Like they live pure joy. Your definition of happiness doesn't have to meet somebody else's. Somebody else's doesn't have to meet yours. And if someone has found a formula that's working for them, keep on it.
Keep on it. And that's a great point about the how can we be here depressed living in America while you said there's people out there with other countries are far less, and it all comes back to fulfillment. I think finding that fulfillment
Mm-hmm.
because and I would say doing this podcast makes us happy. And we don't make money off of this podcast. It's not always it's not always monetary gain. It's not something always monetary. It's you know, like I said, it's passion, finding fulfillment, and then hopefully, like we all want money. Money will follow, but it's not chasing the money. There's many examples of people with money that end up very unhappy. You know.
That's a beautiful point. Beautiful point. I think the most successful people in life, like, do things because they're passionate. They don't do things, they don't involve themselves in an art specifically to make money, but they make money by them being so passionate about that. I don't think it'll work nearly as well if you try to do it with money on your mind, like focused on being Mr. Money Man, which is ironic because my name's E Money. But yeah,
So let me ask you this, Idris, because I have an answer. I have answer, my answer to this. I want to know what you think. What do you think about people that are negative, like that aren't fans of yours, or that maybe don't like what you're doing? Do you worry about it?
I don't worry about them. I don't care. I accept whatever they want to say, and I wish them the best. That's all. Like everybody wants
That's
to
it.
be wanted and appreciated, but once you understand that they don't have power over you and they don't control your emotions and how you live your life, I think you'll be a lot happier. You know, um, if that's the case, if you were just worried about everybody who's just like worrying about you or criticizing you or whatever, you will drive yourself insane. There's too many people in the world who are probably speaking bad about you and you don't even know. Um, but you'll probably freak out. So I don't think you need to focus on them. Just focus on you and focus on the people that are making you happy and focus on your routine that's working for you.
100. And I think because I feel like a lot of times you hear, "Oh, I gotta prove people wrong. I got this chip on my shoulder," and I certainly I carry that a little bit, but what I did, care about a lot about what like, hey, I wonder if people are gonna like this, or man, I hope this doesn't sound bad or make someone mad. But then, like I said, letting go of that was all the relief, and also I think you owe it more to the people that do believe in you because there's always gonna be people that believe in you and just following them and following what they say and focusing on that means a lot more than just worrying about so
Right.
much about who doesn't who because they're not going to be there anyway, so fuck them.
Yeah, that's
Excuse
so
my
dope,
language.
man. That's so dope, man. Focus on the people who actually do believe in you. Like, if everybody could reach their potential or the potential that they see in themselves, if they could just reach that, their world will be like such an amazing place. And it would be like so much happier of a place, so much brighter of a world. I think that's like so beautiful what you just said. Like literally, if you could help somebody make or believe in themselves or help them realize their potential to the point of doing that. And I think the biggest example you can see out of that is your parents. Parents always want you to be the best, want you to be better than themselves. And um, I think this is a wild take, like a physical take, but people gamble on lottery tickets all the time when you yourself are like the lottery ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ever see your parents buying
Yeah,
lottery
invest in
tickets,
you.
if you see your parents buying lottery tickets, that just means you need to grind harder because you need to be the lottery ticket for your fam or whoever it is or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You need to be the one to expel the doubt in them to the point where they don't need to buy lottery tickets anymore because they have you. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, it makes sense. It means go hard, man. Go hard every day for those that do, for those that gave you the opportunities. And I definitely agree 100%. I'm rocking with that.
Yeah,
Go hard all the time.
I was just thinking of the opposite a little bit. Like imagine a world where everybody didn't reach their potential or they stayed at the bottom of their potential. And I don't know why, but I was thinking of like a communist world. Like damn, like people not reaching their potential, just everything would seem gray
Just
and
dull, man.
just gray and sheep. Like probably the greatest people that you can think of. Why am I crying in the club right now? Get out of here, yo. That's what we do. We talking about life. Wrong time, right
Baby.
place. It's never the right time to talk about these things, but this is the right place. We always gonna talk about those difficult things. Put it on blast. Try to help somebody out. Help ourselves out. Um, so we
Kobe in the
appreciate y'all rocking in
club.
here. Shout out Kobe. His birthday in a couple hours tomorrow. Shout out to him, man. Little baby. He's in
Turn
here.
up.
He's in here putting some wrinkles on his brain. It's a little bit too smooth. He's working on it.
That's gonna be a celebration for sure. And yeah, shout out Kobe, man, out in the club listening to the show. Shout out everybody that's been rocking with us, man. Yeah, we
Yeah.
just we having fun. We having fun.
Yeah, you have anything exciting coming up, like personally, or any big breakthroughs you've had personally?
Big breakthroughs I've had recently. Just the working in this job for the Raiders Stadium. It's not a glamorous job, but just looking being there and I kind of applied this because I was like, I'm going to the job. I'm just gonna be myself. I don't really care. And then just seeing how many people were actually responding to that and gravitated towards that inspired this topic, and also maybe my thinking on stop wearing all these masks because it can get stressful when you don't fulfill obligations in one, and it carries over to your other life. So take the mask off, be yourself, and that's my biggest breakthrough I've been having. I got an album date for our album to drop. We finally got the date on it.
Okay, when's that dropping?
We rocking with Black Friday. Hey, shouts out to Toxic Henry, my
Black
dude.
Friday. Okay, okay, Black Friday. That's dope. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, man. It's funny because when you decide to take that mask off, it's almost like you're walking with a I don't give a, you know, kind of attitude,
yeah, exactly.
and people respect you even more for that. You know, like they're like, "Yo, this man really don't give a damn. He just out here being himself." Like, and people like love it for some reason. I think it's dope.
You know what? I think I have a theory on why people love it because I think everybody wants to do that, but they are scared to,
Oh yeah,
and that's my theory. That's my hot take. People
yeah.
they wish
The,
they can do it. That's why you respect people that do it.
and don't take it out of context. This doesn't mean walk around and giving everybody the bird. Actually, not giving a damn. Like just, but just
Yeah,
focus. Just be yourself. Like that's all it means. Just be yourself. Just be yourself,
yeah.
and I'm sure like if you're on that path of being yourself, you're spreading positivity, and people are gonna attract to you because of that.
You'll get the
Um,
right people attracted to you.
yeah,
But shout out Toxic Henry, bro. You don't even got to worry about it being on sale, man. I got you. I'll give it to you personally. I got the link for you personally, my brother.
yeah, yeah.
But
For me, personal stuff. Shoot, I don't even know. I got a lot of personal stuff. um,
we got a logo coming soon for him.
yeah, we got a logo coming soon. We actually got some official logos coming in soon that we're working on transitions for you guys. We're working on animated stuff to put on our screen here. Once all that comes through. Um, Henry said, "Do you be yourself, and most importantly, love yourself. Got to, got
Yes,
to
yes, sir.
love,
Wise words.
love and respect yourself. You got to start there." Um, Again, we just want to apologize for being a day late. Next week, our show will be on Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, as it's going to be probably every week. If it's not, we'll definitely let you know ahead of time. Join that Discord if you haven't done so already. We really want people in there so we can get more topics for you guys, get more user interaction as much as we can. Of course, we want as
Yeah,
much as we
and whatever
can
and
live.
promote whatever you guys want.
Yeah, for sure. If you have
Whatever
something
you
dope to
whatever
promote
you
for
guys have.
yourself, we'll never be that limiter. You know, we always want you to be yourself, and we want to raise you up with us. Me myself, I actually just signed a lease with my family just recently for a restaurant. So we're gonna be opening that up hopefully by the end of the year. Which, if you're in Las Vegas, it'll be on the south side. And when we get closer to opening, I'll let everybody know when that is. Um,
Ever have
and
cheese fries?
oh, we gonna have some cheese fries.
They got the best cheese fries I ever had in my life.
Yeah, Charles knows what's up. I used to run
I
a
do.
restaurant with my family back in the day too, and we used to be slanging all types of late night munchies, like dope food all the time. I miss it so much, but we gonna be back. Don't worry about it. We gonna be back. Yeah, we appreciate you liking the talk, and Henry said we gotta get a song that's titled "We Live," baby.
We live, baby.
Give it
Hey,
to
I'm
him.
there.
Give it to him.
Listen, you already know. I can cook it up tonight. We have it for debuted it on the show. That's a brilliant. I love the idea.
You got anything else you wanna put on this closing segment here?
Man, last thing I want to say is just be yourself, be true. Um, Join us next week. We're gonna have much to talk about. Keep giving us suggestions. We appreciate everybody in here. We just trying to create some good discourse. So to hear people, you guys enjoying it is the greatest blessing we can have. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all. And again, if y'all ever need somebody to talk to, you're feeling down yourself, whatever, you need somebody, you can always hit us up. We'll never be too busy to speak to somebody. If if you're going through things, life is difficult. So if you really need somebody, we'll be there.
There's no wrong time. There's always the right. There's always the right place, though.
Yes, sir.
You like that?
Yes, sir.
I got some like that
Okay.
in there.
Yeah, next show, Friday, 6 p.m. We'll be there. Appreciate everybody who's followed, everybody who's in here. Tell your friends, tell your homies, share our links on YouTube, Discord, everything. We're working on being on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Once we get that logo and stuff, we'll definitely start uploading on there too.
I'm glad you added it in there because I forgot. Yeah, we're gonna get that to you guys on all major platforms. So
Yep.
yeah, we're only going up. That's what it's about. We only going up, baby.